So we're talking about mindset. I often hear people say, the sky is the limit. Have you heard that? I beg to differ. I think your mind is the limit. When we really understand the capacity of our mind, and we understand how it works, and we understand how our thought process work, wow, I promise you, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Because after all, as human beings, we're limitless. We're only bound by the fear that we let cripple us. That is it. Your mindset is phenomenal. And when I say mindset to deliver results, you have to have an evolving mindset versus a fixed mindset. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of mindset do you have right now? You see, when I was describing myself in the beginning, I had a fixed mindset. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do this. I'm limited by this. I'm limited by that. It was always excuses. It was always blame. It was always that all the time. If you're doing that, then you're operating with your old conditioning, which is a fixed mindset. What you need to really adopt is what I call an evolving mindset, which means you're always learning. I hate the word expert. People say, oh, I'm an expert at this, I'm an expert at that. You know, the people that I know that are genuine experts, they always see themselves as a beginner. They're always learning. Are you always learning? I often say every day is a school day. And when you have an open mind for that, you're always looking for a better way of doing things, a better way of improving things, always making changes, always tweaking stuff, never settling for the status quo. That is an evolving mindset. And if you can adopt that, there are really 4 key things here. If you know how to manage them, you can truly manage your mindset to become a winning success. So number 1, I would say take care of the conversations you're having in your mind, because you might want to write this down and commit this to memory. The quality of the conversations you have with yourself will determine the quality of the relationship that you have with your life and the results that you're producing in your environment. Very, very important. Now, not only do you need to take care of the conversations that are going on in your head as well, you need to take care of what you believe in. Because as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can and you believe you can't, guess what? You're right. So always say this. I can't remember who said it, and I could be wrong. Maybe it's Richard Branson. He says, when you want to do something new and somebody asks you to do something, always say the word yes, even if you don't know how, and go and figure it out. And through NLP, I always learn to always use this word. Somebody, can you do this? I can't do it yet, but I'll figure it out. Really, really powerful to allow you to have that evolving mindset so that you're not closed all the time and you don't have a fixed mindset. And thirdly, what you need to be able to do is to have a way of adapting your natural communication style with other people around you, because I promise you, no man, no woman is an island all by themselves. We need people around us. I even have a quote in one of my books that I say, people make people, people break people, but we still need people around us. So you've got to be able to communicate well, whether with people that are the top CEOs or people that are the bottom janitors or whoever it is, or your own child. You've got to have a communicative style that's adaptable. So you don't just say, well, oh, this is who I am, this is how I am. You'll be operating with a fixed mindset and you'll be limited at who you can touch and who you can influence. So you need to be flexible with your behavior around communication. Really important. And then finally, you need to empower yourself. What do I mean by that? You need to give yourself permission to try new things, to try a new skill, learn a new language, go on a road trip, go to a new country, move to a new town or city, start over again, write a book, do something new. Because by doing that, you keep your mind open to keep learning every single day. It's called CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. You do that, and you have an open mindset, and that way you'll always be creating great results. So there you have it on mindset. In the next video, we're going to talk about values. I'll see you in the next video. In the last video, we were talking about mindset. In this next video, as I promised you, we're going to talk about values. What do I mean by values? Values are really what drives you. What's really driving you? Do you know what your values are? Do you know what's driving you on a day-to-day basis? Why do you get up? Why do you go to your job? Why do you do what you do? You see, I often say that people need to understand what is driving them, and your values are at a deeper level than your beliefs. And there are ways of finding out what your values are. First of all, you want to understand, where did your values come from? Well, values that come from our parents. You know, there are different sources of values, and it's different for everyone. So you have your family, you have your friends, you have your school, depending on your educational system. You have historical events, you have geography, where you live, the area that you're living. All of these influence they're all called value, they all influence you. And even in the year that you were born, were you born in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, all different eras. I'm sure you'll agree with me. So all of these will have an impact on who you are as a particular person growing up. But when you understand what your values are and what's really driving you, then I promise you, it's like having a marriage made in heaven. Because then everything you do can be aligned with your values. Here's the best quote that I've ever heard about values from, I believe it was Elvis Presley. He said, values are like fingerprints. You can't see them, but they're on everything that you touch. Values are like fingerprints. You can't see them visibly, but they're on everything that you touch. Meaning, your characteristics, your mannerism, the way you behave, your attitude, all of that cumulated, people can see it. When just by observing yourself and observing others, you can see what's important to them. Because that's what values are. Values are what's important to you. How do you spend your time? What do you do with your time? You know? How do you dress? How do you talk to people? How do you treat people? All of these things are values. And I think it was Tony Robbins that came up with what we call the 6 human needs. They're just values. They're just drivers. And what are the 6 human needs? Well, it's simple. We have a need for certainty. We have a need for uncertainty and variety. We have a need for love and connection. We have a need for growth. And we have a need for contribution. Now, the first 4 needs, certainty, uncertainty or variety, love and connection, and significance, those 4 needs are basic human needs. And all of us, every single one of us, including yourself right now watching this, we find a way of meeting those 4 needs, whether in a positive way or a negative way. Either way, your choice. The question you have to ask yourself is, how are you meeting those needs? Now, for true fulfillment in life, we need to encompass and really include the last 2 human needs. And that is the need for growth, for learning and growing and stretching, and then the need for contribution, meaning helping somebody other than ourselves, other than our family. Being of help and support to the needy, to people that are worse off than us, helping them and bringing them to our level. There can be no greater achievement than that on planet Earth. So values, you need to find out how to elicit your values and know what are your top 3 to 5 values in all areas of life. You'll be do well to do, because once you find that out, I promise you, you'll absolutely be living life on your terms and to the max. So there you have it on values. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about success. So I'll see you on the next video.